I know I look really young for my age regardless, but right now I look like I'm 14. Can we all agree here? My hair wasn't having it today, and I didn't want to put it up because I always put my hair up, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna braid it. And I spent too much time braiding this shit to not leave it, even though I missed the world's biggest chunk of hair. But I'm back, and it's fucking hot in here. But I'm back, and I have more of your guys' paranormal stories that I'm excited to read to you. I actually picked out a shit ton this time, so I don't have to go through while I'm filming the video. Good job, me. I also realized that I've been promising to take them from Twitter and Instagram for a very long time now, and I still haven't done that. You guys have to remind me. Like, somebody needs to constantly remind me because I have the world's worst memory. So, like, tweet at me every day, or like, just kill me. I'm also trying really hard not to drink Diet Coke right now. I'm trying to wean myself off, at least a little bit, because I've been drinking like 7 a day, and that's not healthy. So I'm struggling right now. I think I need water. Okay. Ow, fuck. Okay, I'm wondering if I should just jump right— oh, I've been recording for 5 minutes. Did this move? I think you moved. I know I say this every week too, but I am now up to like 1,300 emails. Again, we go up by about 300 every time I make a video. You guys are insane, and I can't keep up with you at all. I can't even begin to keep up with you. So this is why you're seeing a lot of these videos. And I know you guys like these, so like I know you don't care, but like, whatever. It's just not the same. Ooh, I'm about to dive in. Okay, the first one is really fucking long. This is from Crystal, and it says, dumbass fucking demons are shook. Yep, scary story. Okay, she said, it all started when I was 4. I can remember everything so vividly. I lived in Pittsburgh in a 2-story house. The kitchen and the living room were on the 1st floor, bedrooms were on the 2nd, and we had an attic and a basement. I wasn't born yet when my family moved in, who consists of my dad, my mom, and my 3 sisters. My room had a twin bed and a closet that slides with 2 doors. Yeah, classic. The entrance to the attic was in my closet, and I would open the closet daily to get shirts, and the attic was always closed. Then one day I went to get a shirt and it was wide open. I didn't think much of it. Maybe my dad had gone to get something down. Nope. The next day it was open again, but this time it was broken. The door was ripped off, basically. I get creeped out, but I don't say anything to my parents or sisters. Every night I would have sleep paralysis after seeing the door ripped off. When I turned 6, more crazy stuff would happen. I'd wake up to my door slamming shut, pots and pans banging together in the kitchen, and our cat growling and hissing in the corner. But my sister Heather started acting strange. She was 3 years older than me, so at the time she was 9, almost 10. She would start talking to herself while looking in the corner of the living room. One day we saw her go into the kitchen, and it sounds really stupid, but she was putting fucking mayonnaise all over our damn vacuum. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. What? One day when me and my dad were in the living room watching TV, both me and my dad saw a black figure walk into the kitchen, and we heard our vacuum turn on, and sure enough, there was our vacuum that we had thrown out because the mayonnaise ruined it. Standing in the middle of the kitchen, totally not weird. My sister Heather sat in the corner again later on and said, stop hitting me, over and over again. I was like, what's hitting you? She said, him. She started pointing at the wall. We looked at her arms and back, and there were 3 red marks all over her back and 3 claws on her arm. No more going in the corner, sweetie, my mom said to her and picked her up, taking her to take a shower. Can you imagine your mom being like, no more corners. Nobody goes into corners. I was almost 7 and things just got creepier. Now I was even seeing shadows and things move in my room. Even voices. But this tops it off. My cat randomly started attacking my sister and ramming its head into every wall. It was basically possessed. Why is your whole family possessed, including your pets? So my mom put him in the basement, which, keep in mind, had 18-inch deep concrete. Then we decided to take a family walk. We locked the doors and closed all the windows and left. After about an hour, we came back and walked in, and the basement door was kicked out. Usually when you open it, you pull the door towards you to go down, but it was kicked the opposite way. We went down there, and all we saw were big holes dug up from the ground about 12 inches wide all around. What the fuck? The cat was gone, and my mom decided to drop a big rock down one of the holes. It was big enough to be able to hear a sound. What is happening? What is actually happening? What is happening? Are you okay? We stood there for 30 minutes straight. No sound. But then things in the basement started flying off shelves, so we got the hell out of there. What? The story went from, like, you know, just normal casual things happening, you know, pots falling, your sister being possessed, your cat being possessed, to like the haunting in Connecticut. I'm now 14 and I see spirits on a daily basis. My mom says I'm a medium, but I don't know. I can talk to spirits too. It freaks me out though. I live in California now. Well, that was it. I still miss that cat. Hope this was a good story though. Are you okay? Like, are things as insane for you now, or do you think it was like the house? Like, let me know, keep me updated. Okay, let's move on. This one's from Raina, and this one says, Grandma's scary house and being choked. These are all really, really long. So she said, sup coach, I wasn't gonna send my story, but it's probably one of the scariest things that's happened to me. And girl, I've experienced a shit ton of paranormal stuff. Plus this happened to me over the course of this summer. She said, alright, I'm not sure how old I was when this happened, so I'll just say I was about 10 or 12 years old. I went to my dad's for the summer, and when I was there, something attached themselves to me. Yes, themselves, as in multiple. I would see 3 to 4 black smoky figures everywhere, just watching me. I'd pray and they would go away. Fast forward a couple weeks. I'm at my grandma's for the rest of summer vacation. She got a new place, so as we're moving in, I got a really creepy feeling in the house but shrugged it off and thought it was because it's not familiar. We got everything in and settled down. The black figures started showing themselves more. I'd see them in the corner of my eye or in dark corners of the room. No more corners. Most nights I slept in my auntie's room. We talked about my summer and eventually fell asleep. A couple hours later, I woke up choking, gasping for air, panicking because I can see the black figures standing over me. I could feel their hands on my neck. My auntie was freaking out, trying to pat me on the back, trying to get me to breathe. Then out of nowhere, I got a huge gasp of air and started crying. From that night on, it happened almost every night. What? A couple days later, my cousin and I went to the park across the field. My grandma told us they were going out and wanted to see if we wanted to go along. We had an epic game of grounders going, so we stayed at the park. The sun was starting to go down. We were thirsty and the mosquitoes were eating us alive, so we headed home. We fought for the sink and ate a snack. Checked to see if anyone was home. No one was, so we went into the living room, lay down on the couch and started watching Teletoon. 90s kids' favorite pastime. Anyways, my cousin fell asleep and I watched cartoons. I felt the feeling of being watched and looked over to the doorway, and up in the corner of the doorway was a dark, long-haired head peeking at us. I froze. I couldn't see its face as there were no lights on in the living room, just a light in the hallway and the kitchen behind the peeking grudge-looking thing. I can't tell if it was seconds or minutes, but the thing pulled its head back and ran upstairs. You could hear it running up the stairs. I scooped up my cousin as fast as I could and sprinted down the stairs and outside. I cried and waited for my family to get home. I told my auntie what I saw, and she got this weird look on her face and told me I was probably dreaming. You were awake! That night I woke up choking again. The next morning the whole family was up. We were having breakfast and watching Godzilla in the living room. Then out of nowhere I'm being choked again. I jumped up and ran into the kitchen, grabbing at my grandma who was on the phone. She turned around and saw me choking. She screamed for my grandpa to call the ambulance, and that's the last thing I remember. I blacked out and saw a black figure in fire walking towards me. I came to with the paramedics checking my vitals. They didn't know what was wrong with me. Nobody knew what was wrong. This is fucking insane. What? Oh my god. I almost didn't tell my grandma I was seeing stuff. I didn't think she would believe me. It got to the point of me being so scared to sleep or be alone because even if I was awake or around family, I'd get choked by those black figures to the point of blacking out. During the night and day for weeks, the black fire walking thing got closer and closer every time as well. I need a break. This is insane. I feel so sad for you guys. I'm scarred for life by like the smallest things. I can't imagine what you go through. We went to the hospital and the doctor was confused, but they said it could be asthma. Asthma! They gave me an inhaler. It didn't help. Shocker. I was tortured for weeks. Finally, I told my grandma about the black figures and the long-haired thing. She took me to her pastor and he prayed for me. I slept like a baby that night. Nothing ever choked me. Never saw the black figure again. I don't know what the fluff attached itself to me, but it's something I will never forget. By the way, I have a buttload of scary paranormal experiences, so let me know if you want to hear more. Always. Just stop asking. Please send me more. Please send me more. I feel like all of these just have like absolutely terrifying titles. This one's from Kimberly, and this one says, "A demon was smiling at me in the middle of the night." Ugh, I'm hungry. Oh my god, you guys want to hear a funny story? It's not that funny, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. So this morning, I was having a rough morning. It's like one of those mornings where you just don't feel like doing anything and you don't feel like getting out of your bed. So I literally laid in bed from like 9 a.m. to like 1 p.m. I was watching The Office, and I decided at like noon or like 11:30 that I was really hungry because I hadn't eaten anything. So I was gonna Postmates myself food because I literally didn't want to get out of my bed that badly. Like I didn't even want to walk to my kitchen to make myself food. So I ordered Postmates, and I accidentally made the pickup location Firehouse subs and the drop-off location Firehouse subs. So it took my Uber Eats wait, did I say Postmates? Uber Eats. It took my Uber Eats an hour and a half to get me my food because they had to like call Uber support and figure out my address because they couldn't contact me. I'm a dumbass. I did well in school, but real life fucks me up. Okay, whatever, sorry. Okay, back to the demon smiling in the middle of the night. Okay, again, this one's from Kimberly, and she said, "I've been living in my current house for 22 years and have a lot of memories here. While I was growing up, I was always so paranoid and depressed. I feel like it's brought more spirits to me and my family, honestly. I have a billion stories. I'll send you more. But this one I want to talk about. I remember one night so clearly. I was about 16 years old. I changed my bed that day and was so excited to go to bed comfortable. Well, that didn't happen. I was sound asleep. No noise, no light, nothing. I just woke up out of the blue. Who is running in my hallway? I remember things being kind of blurry, but I had this little alarm clock in my room that changed colors. The time read 2:43 a.m., and we all know about 2 a.m. stories. But I was so tired, and I remember having bunk beds for some reason, and I'd always sleep on the bottom bunk. I had scarves and belts hanging off the front of the bed, and my bed was facing the closet. I looked at the time, then turned my head to the front. All I can see is a pitch black room. Then in front of me, peeking through the stuff hanging on my bed, is a face. Not the clearest, but an outline of one. I'm 100% positive something was watching me. I took a closer, clearer look, and it's a demon. All black with glowing fucking green eyes and a creepy-ass grin on its face. Almost like it was staring at me all night, waiting for me to wake up. It looked happy that I woke up. In the creepiest way. I had no idea what to... I would never... I don't even know what to do now, and it's not even happening to me. I had no idea what to do with myself. Should I run and get chased by this thing? Should I close my eyes and go back to bed and get eaten? I fucking went back to bed. How? I turned to face my wall, pulled my blanket over my head, and forced myself to fall asleep. I never thought something like this would happen to me. It's just so creepy. The weirdest thing about it is that it must have been watching me sleep all night, and I had no idea. I don't know what I would do either. Like, I feel like I would be way too scared to get out of my bed, but at the same time, I would not be able to fall asleep. I don't know what, I think I would just like accept my fate. I'm like, you know what, whatever happens, it happens. Okay, this one I actually found on my flight to Iceland because this was like my plan to get ahead for myself. I didn't do it though, of course. But I was like, okay, on my flight, I'm probably not gonna have Wi-Fi, so I can go through my emails and read through a couple of them, or like majority of them, and save, you know, the ones that I want to read, whatever. And so I found this story. I went through like 2 stories, by the way. I found this story and it just made me laugh. So this is from Shanna, and it says, someone keeps farting on my room and I need your help. This is the whole story. Hey, yes, I think somebody or something keeps farting in my room because it stinks so often, like a fart. That's something where I wanted to ask you what that could be. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I think farts are funny. We're moving on. Okay, so this story is from Duncan Ducks, and it says, the unexplained picture, a very short, very scary story. It said, I'll keep this as short as possible for you. So one night when I was in 8th grade, I was having a sleepover at my best friend's house with myself, my best friend, and one other girl. We decided to sleep in the basement of her house because that's the only place where there was enough room for all 3 of us. I had slept in the basement with my friend before, and it always had a way of creeping me out. I feel like it's just a basement, and basements are just creepy in general. There were always just shadows and creepy sounds. The definition of basement, creepy sounds, creepy shadows. One night while I was asleep, a mouse fell off the ceiling and landed on me, so I didn't particularly like the basement. I never really believed in anything paranormal, so none of this really bothered me much. My friend's parents had told us that the mirror in her basement was bought from an auction, and it came from a hotel that had been closed down since it was haunted. I laughed this off, but the friend of my best friend was totally freaked out by it. So that night, I decided I was going to do Bloody Mary in the mirror to freak that girl out. That's so rude, little cunt. I did the whole ritual thing in the mirror and pretended to walk around the room being possessed. I would kill you. I think I'd actually kill you. My best friend was laughing the whole time, so it didn't really scare anyone. We didn't stay up late. I never stay up late, so we were probably asleep by 11. At 3 a.m., my best friend woke me up in a complete panic. She showed me a picture on her phone. It was a picture of me staring into the mirror. I looked soulless. My eyes were jet black, and my body looked as if it was limp. I asked her how she did it, and then how she edited the photo, and she screamed. She didn't take the photo, and obviously I didn't take it. So we woke up the other girl and she was clueless about it. My best friend said she had watched me only 10 minutes before get up and walk to the mirror and say, "Hello, Mary." But I don't remember this, and no, I'm done. She swears she didn't take the picture though. I don't think any of us got any sleep that night, but it just got worse in the morning. We were all studying the photo as if maybe there was some sort of clue to it. None of us knew her phone password, and this was before you could just slide up on the lock screen to take a photo on an iPhone. So it only made sense that my best friend had taken it, but she swore she didn't, and I still don't remember getting up and walking over to the mirror. Anyways, all day my friends and I were just hanging out in the basement, and we went upstairs for lunch, and we just happened to leave our phones in the basement. Oh, I'm scared. As we were eating lunch, we heard a bang in the basement, so we ran downstairs to see the mirror shattered all over the floor. So we grabbed our phones and left. But when we went into my friend's camera roll, the photo from last night was gone. It wasn't even in the recently deleted section. So let's just say we never slept in the basement again, or never sleep at the house again. Since then, we've done the Ouija board in our house a couple times, and despite all the crazy things we've talked to, I've always thought it was just my friends moving the board. But the unexplainable thing is that her cat always stares us dead in the eyes whenever we reach someone on the board. It's bizarre. Anyways, I'm going to attach some cute pictures of my miniature ducks for you just in case you're shook and need something to chill you out. Thank fucking God. Just wearing a sweater. That's cute. I kind of want to read one more. That was literally all I had saved. I thought I saved so many more than that. Whatever. Okay, this one says this. I literally just scrolled down and found this one. Oh, she's long, but you know what? We're gonna read it. So this one says, I keep hearing a little girl giggling. This is from Tiana. Whenever you guys started the stories, like telling me that you love me and stuff like that, I just it makes me so happy. Like, I love you guys too. You guys are so nice to me. So she said, we recently moved in September of 2017 to some condos, and I've been living here since. Since they're condos, we have people on both sides of us attached. So of course you'll hear people running upstairs or dogs barking. But this is different. A month or two into when we moved in, we started hearing heavy footsteps walking around our upstairs. My living room is directly underneath my parents' bedroom, and that's specifically where I can hear them. When I hear talking or running up the stairs from the neighbors, I know it's them because it's muffled and distant. I don't know if that makes sense. No, it makes perfect sense because I have the loudest neighbors in the world. But with these footsteps, they're clear and loud like an actual person is walking around. Sometimes I'll be in my living room or my kitchen, which is just off the living room, and my dad will be laying down or watching TV in his room. He'll get up to go get something and I can hear him walking around. But when nobody's upstairs, I hear the footsteps. It sounds the same as if my dad or another family member was up there. It freaked us us out at first, but now every time my mom hears the creaks, she just says, oh, it's our ghost walking around. Also, our entire upstairs is carpeted, so it's not like we have creaky hardwood floors. And around October or November of 2017, other occurrences had happened, such as my mom getting up from the kitchen table early in the morning to go to the washroom and leaving her phone turned off, only to hear Siri go off loudly when nobody else was in the room to touch it. We also would get gusts of cold air and goosebumps randomly, which I know sounds so typical and basic, but sign of a ghost. My best friend was in the hospital due to an attempt on her life around that time, and when I'd spend hours there with her, I'd tell her about all these things that were happening, and we decided to name my ghost Frankie. Sometimes my dogs just randomly start barking at nothing or staring at the wall. A few months ago, I was walking to my bus stop at around 7:20 in the morning, and I was alone. It was still sort of dark out, and when I got to the bus stop, I was the only one in sight. It was silent, until I started to hear a little girl giggling. Again, there was nobody else around. Safe to say I was freaked out. Also, sometimes when I'm walking to my bus stop, I'll see my shadow, obviously, but there will be another one. Sometimes it seems it's not moving the way that I am. I don't know if that makes me sound crazy or delusional or if I'm just seeing things. The most recent occurrence was about 2 weeks ago. I was in the shower and I heard what sounded like a little girl giggling. I hate that. I hate that. I thought I had just made a noise by accident or something. She said, is that weird? Do you ever do that? Like a noise slips out if you breathe in a certain way? Just me? No, yeah, the same shit happens to me. Like, I'll like whistle a lot when I breathe and I'm like, she said, but I heard it again and it very much sounded like a little girl giggling. I actually jumped and almost slipped. When I got out and told my mom and brother, let's just say my brother made my mom sit upstairs with him while he showered. So I guess if there's a ghost haunting my house, she's a little girl and I named her Frankie. I know she means no harm and I can't help but wonder if she's attached to me somehow. But there has now been 2 times where I heard a little girl giggling, so I don't know. I have one more thing to add. As of recently, my 8-year-old cousin has come forward to her mom that she can see angels and spirits. She told her that she has an angel that is always with her and she talks to her. She says that everyone has an angel that's always with them and that boys have boy angels and girls have girl angels. That's so cute. What the heck? When she sees spirits, she says they're very faint and kind of like a blur. She can sense them and sometimes she talks to them. After her mom told my mom talked to my little cousin on the phone and she explained everything to my mom. She asked her if our spirits leave our body when we die and my mom said yes and they go to heaven. My little cousin said, but they don't stay in heaven. Spirits can go wherever they want. They can come and go as they please. They're always with us. Next time she's over at my house, I'm gonna ask her if there's anyone in my house like Frankie. That's actually crazy because whenever I talk to T, Hank, or Hop, like they basically say that they can do whatever they want as well. Like they stay in this realm, you know, it's like purgatory. Not like what we think purgatory is, but it's just like a middle ground for them. You guys know what I mean. If you guys have ever seen my Ouija board videos, you know what I'm talking about. But basically they like where they're at and they can do whatever they want and they can travel where they want and speak to who they want to speak to. And then if they want to move on, they can. So that kind of makes sense. Like you can go to heaven or you can stay in the middle and kind of just like do your thing, you know what I mean? The last thing that happened was with my cousin again. Last weekend I took her skating and I held her hand as we skated around. Her other arm was free and she kept saying to me, I feel like somebody else is here. I said, well, what do you mean? And she replies, it feels like there's somebody helping me, holding my arm up as I skate. I was a little freaked out but just continued to skate. That's everything that's happened so far with my house and my cousin, but I'll keep sending updates as they come. Y'all are crazy. Let me just tell you that right now. You guys have the craziest things that happen to you. That is all I'm going to read for right now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other paranormal stories you want to send me, I will have the email written down below so you guys can send them to that. I promise, if I can remember, I will check Twitter and Instagram for stories. You guys need to remind me of that shit because I forget. I don't mean to, but I forget. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I couldn't really lift myself up that time. I'm just not feeling as active today since I have to drink water instead of Diet Coke. It's pretty bad that like my bloodstream is Diet Coke. I think there was like a t-shirt or somebody sent me something that was like, in case of emergency, my blood type is Diet Coke or some shit. Like, okay, this is so lame. Okay, see ya.